Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Shanty Sessions. And this is Paul, just there, and I'm Stephen.
I got my left and right all mixed up. But good evening to everybody, and thank you very much for joining us. We are delighted to be presenting episode 54, as Stephen said, of the Shanty Sessions, and we're very delighted to have the support and the guidance of our funders. They are the People's Health Trust, and they fund us through the Active Communities Programme, and they have done so for nearly 2 years now, and beyond that as well. And they've been so kind as to keep us going through the pandemic to make sure that we can still engage with the Rogue Shanty Chorus members, and also to pick up some new Rogue Shanty Chorus members. So if you're one of the good people that come along to the Seagull Theatre on alternate Tuesday nights and sing your heart out and sing those wonderful shanty songs that we all love, you're very welcome. Good evening to you. And if perhaps you're a Rogue Shanty Chorus member that's joined us along the way through this lockdown and epidemic, you're very welcome also. But perhaps even those people that are joining us for the very first time tonight, we wish you a very special welcome and thank you very much.
Yes, we do. And look, while you're listening, why don't you just click share, please? Click share, and if you're enjoying it, that is, and you think that somebody else might enjoy it, and we do a few comments, and then I think we're going to kick off with a song or two. The first one is from Pat Briggs. She says, "Good evening, all." Then Carly Franklin says, "Evening, Stephen, Paul, and everyone. Hope all are well." Yeah, that good sentiment, Carly, and so do I. Sarah Jordan says, "Good evening, all you lovely folk."
Good evening, Sarah.
Tom McQuillan, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well and enjoying spring." Yeah, absolutely, Tom. The weather is getting there, isn't it? Michelle just simply says, "Good evening," and a wave. Hello. Charlie Moore. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hi. And so as we do, look, we're going to announce this nice and early tonight. As we do, we pick a word from this wonderful book, Suffolk Words and Phrases by Edward Moore, and we ask you to have a guess at what it might mean. And today's word is ranter. Ranter. Now, I guess you could quite obviously guess and assume that somebody is in a rant and they're having a rant, and so they are a ranter. But that's not the context of the meaning of the word on this occasion, or certainly not Edward Moore.
That we would simply call rants.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, absolutely.
Rants and bants.
Yeah. So let us know what you think it might be. As always, we do have to disclaim and say you can't win anything. Please don't cheat. Certainly, if you have got a copy at home, if you're fortunate enough to have one, don't cheat. But just let us know what you think it might mean. Let us know.
We would be delighted. Yeah,
we would be.
Let's kick off with a song, a good old shanty.
Oh, I love good old shanties.
Oh yeah, me too.
What are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with "Running Down to Cuba."
Ooh.
This is one of the newer editions. Ooh. I think it's in the 50s. Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's not the Gibson Brothers song, which was a fantastic hit in the 70s. It's "Running Down to Cuba," which is an authentic sea shanty. And by sea shanty, what we mean is a work song. Songs that were sung to a rhythm that enabled the sailors and the mariners to perform their daily tasks to that rhythm, to keep them all synchronized for maximum efficiency and effort and output, to really capitalize on that strength, that manpower strength, back in the days when, apart from the weather, all the power that you needed was within the arms of the men that were sailing. So here we go, "Running Down to Cuba." Please sing along with us. And it goes like this. It goes like this. "We're bound to Cuba for a load of sugar. We boys for Cuba. We'll make a run, you lime juice squeezer, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba. Hey, running down to Cuba. Running down with a press of sail. Way me boys for Cuba. Slinging the water over the rail. Running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba. Running down to Cuba. Oh, good Lord, how the winds do blow. Way me boys for Cuba. And our old man, he cracks on so. running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, running down to Cuba. I got a sister 9 foot tall, way me boys for Cuba. Sleeps in the kitchen with her feet in the hall, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, hey, running down to Cuba. I got a gal and her name is Jane, way me boys for Cuba. You can guess where she give me pain, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, ho, running down to Cuba. Give me a gal can dance fandango, way me boys for Cuba. Round like a melon and sweet as a mango, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, running down to Cuba. Running down me bucko boys, way me boys for Cuba. Let's all haul and make some noise, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, come on, running down to Cuba. Loading sugar on the homeward go, way me boys for Cuba. Oh, Mr. Mate, he told me so, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, running down to Cuba. Way me boys for Cuba, running down to Cuba.
Well, that was lovely. I like that very much.
Well, it's a little bit too countrified for my liking. A bit
Not
country and
gentrified.
western. No, definitely not gentrified. No, but I was tempted to do a little bit of a line dance. But thank God for everybody's sake, I did not. A few more comments have come in already, and they are from Sally Hardman, who says, hello, everyone. Hello, Sally. And from Linda Boyce, who says, hi, Stephen and Paul. Thank you to People's Health Trust.
Yeah, I second that. I second that from both Linda saying hello and also thank you to the People's Health Trust.
I third it. And Dave Vanderbrucker, who joins us from Virginia, he says, hello, everyone. It's a nice sunny day in Virginia. Wonderful. Jackie Draper checks in with a hello all. And David and Janet Wood says, hello, everyone. Is Rand.
Should that be his grand? Or are they having a guess at the ranter?
I think, yeah. There we go. Is Ranger anything to do with rant scoring and all that stuff? I think we know what they mean. But you'll have to find out. Sarah Jordan ponders, is ranter to mean political or religious dissenter? Ooh,
that's a good one.
That is a goodie.
Even if you're not right, Sarah, you have some great guesses. They sound plausible.
Yep. And that's all that counts, really. Dave Vanderbrucker counters, the ranters were a religious cult that believed that property ownership was a sin and set up communities to farm in common. They ran afoul of property owners and were suppressed. Well, that could well be the heritage of this word.
You know what, actually, Dave? You sound so authoritarian with that even if I know you're wrong, I almost feel like I must be wrong. Because that sounds like you're sure of yourself there.
Well, there's usually more than one truth, isn't there? Tom McQuillan says, ranter, storyteller, raconteur. And could also be right. And Linda Boyce says, hi, everyone. What a lovely day we've had. Well, on the east coast of the UK, we have had a beautiful day. A beautiful few days now, really. I think we're almost being lulled into a false sense of security. How long can it last? Who knows? Something's going on, isn't it? Something's afoot. Yeah. Sarah Jordan gives 4 rounds of applause. Michelle Gallagher points out what I should have told you all, which is that in running down to Cuba, there are 3 stamps instead of a haul or a heave. Now, this is because this particular shanty was used to express the crew's sentiments of displeasure or dissatisfaction to a particular order. So instead of carrying that order out, they would stamp 3 times on the heave emphasis and not carry out the said task. Marion Bouchert says, line dance, yes. And Connor Blowers, who I don't recognise that name. Maybe you're commenting for the first time tonight. In which case,
Connor's for the first time tonight, I believe, Paul. But we know him from Origins.
Yes, of course. Sorry, Connor. And he says, evening. So sorry. Of course, I recognise the name, but just not in this context. He said, Dave Vanderbrooker says he's sure of himself because he's heard a folk song about it, and we all know that folk songs never lie. Gillian Lamprey says, evening, everyone. Good evening, Gillian. Sarah Jordan says, as long as you say it with conviction, they'll believe anything. So I was once told by a teacher. Yeah, it sounds like the old razzle dazzle to me. And Martha Knox Forrester says, hi, everyone. Anyway, what have you got for us?
Well, I'm going to do a song now, and this is I don't know, is this number 15 or something in our folders? But this is a song called Kishmaul's Galley, also known as Kishmaul's Galley, Kishmaul's Galley, or Castell Kishmaul in the old Scots Gaelic. And there's actually an old Norse word which is byroinga, which means ship of burden. And ship of burden, or byroinga, was the word that described the ship in this wonderful song. Now we came to it through a recording made by the Corries. Fantastic recording, and quite an original version of this. But this is actually a traditional Scottish song, and it's a what the Scots in their native Gaelic called Orin Lua, which means a walking song. And not walking as in we walk or we run or we sprint, but walking is a process that was practiced in Scotland and still is in some places. And it was used to sing along to, usually in the Gaelic language, by women who would beat newly woven tweed rhythmically against a table or something similar to soften the surface of the tweed. And usually they would choose very simple beat driven songs to accompany the work, and then the tempo would often increase as the cloth became softer. And what they would often do is they would gradually shift it to the left as they worked through it, and then start to move anti-clockwise and then clockwise again and anti-clockwise and so on. But anyway, this is Kishmaul's Castle. I'll bring in the lyrics, and it's based on a real place which was built somewhere between the 13th and the 15th century. No one seems to be sure of that, although that's quite a timeline for error, I'm well aware. And it's at the southern end of the Isle of Barra, which is on its own little islet within Castle Bay on Barra. And the stronghold there was by a clan called the MacNeils of Barra. And anyway, let's bring in the lyrics so you can sing along. Number 18, not 15 at all. What the heck was I talking about? So I need a pedal. Since this is a guitar song. Talk amongst yourselves. Yay. He gets down to the song finally. From the Benahee on a day of days, seaward I gaze, watching Kishmaul's galley sailing. Valley, homeward she bravely battles against the hurtling waves, nor hoops nor yards, anchor, cable, nor tackle has she. Valley, now gainst wind and tide they brought her to 'neath Kishmaul's walls, Kishmaul's castle, our ancient glory. Valley. Here's wine and feast for heroes, and harp into, sweet harp into, watching Kishmaul's galley sailing. Ah-hee-ah-hoo, Valley-ah-hoo. Ah-hee-ah-hoo, Valley-ah-hoo. Yeah, so lovely, lovely song, and our chorus do it exquisitely well. So I can't wait until such a time as we can hear them singing it again. And well, if you're out there and listening, and you are one of them, I can't wait until you sing it again.
Well, I think they love singing it too, because Carly Franklin, for one, says, "I love singing this song." She gives you 5 rounds of applause for that one.
5. You sure?
Janice Martin checks in with evening all, and Marion Bouchette says, "I've been working to learn this one so I can sing it for our crowd." She means her crowd in British Columbia, because, don't you know, Marion Bouchette joins us all the way over the Atlantic. Sarah Jordan offers 4 rounds of applause, as does Michelle.
That's nice, Sarah, but it's not 5, is it?
No, well, it's not even 3, which Sally offers you, and I think that's quite enough. But it was a lovely atmospheric version of Kishmaul's Galley, one of my favourites, definitely. Okay, I'm going to go to our Suffolk word and phrase, because we had a few guesses, but not for a while. And the word this week from Edward Moore's book of Suffolk words and phrases is ranter.
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 What do you think that means? What do you think the word ranter means? It's a word that was peculiar to Suffolk, particularly in the 19th century when that book was written and compiled. But it may well still be in common parlance. We just don't know. It could also be known across other parts of the UK. But we know for a fact, as told by Edward Moore, that in his time, ranter was a word in common use, and we want to know what you think it meant. And if you don't know what it meant, have a guess. Make it funny, make it curious, make it kooky and weird. We don't really mind. Just don't cheat and look on Google.
Now, look, going along here, moving along is a little reminder. Join us on Zoom. Now, this year, last year, we used to finish at 9 p.m. We used to do an hour and a half, which is roughly equivalent to 90 minutes. This year, we decided to stop at 8:30 and to offer a social time for the last 30 minutes. And we would love you to join. If you've never done so, you're very welcome to. If you've done so, you're welcome to. If you're a member of our chorus, you're very welcome to. If you're not a member of our chorus, you're welcome to. We strictly go on there for just 30 minutes at 8:30 prompt. And if you would like to join us, please just visit our webpage, thevoicecloud.co.uk/Zoom, and you will find, if you refresh your browser, you will find the up-to-date information to join us there on Zoom. And at 8:30 prompt, which is 38 minutes and 52 seconds, we will be going on there. Yeah, roughly. Anyway.
And we'd be delighted to see you. I'm going to sing you a song now that's not very old, and it's not very shantified, but it is it's a wonderful folk song called The Rambling Rover. Now, this was a song written and originally performed and recorded by the Scottish folk band called Silly Wizard. And we can tell you that our rogues really enjoy singing this one out. It's quite new to our repertoire when we meet in person. But
if you have one in the folder, but if not, don't worry, we'll put lyrics up.
Yeah, sing along with us. Oh, there's sober men aplenty, and drunkards barely 20. There are men of over 90 who have never yet kissed a girl. But give me a rambling rover, Frae Orkney down to Dover, we will roam the country over, and together we'll face the world. I have roamed through all the nations, ta'en delight in all creation, and enjoyed a wee sensation when the company did prove kind. And when parting was no pleasure, I drunk another measure to the good friends that we treasure, for they'll always be on my mind. There's sober men aplenty, and drunkards barely 20. There are men of over 90 who have never yet kissed a girl. But give me a rambling rover, frae Orkney down to Dover, we will roam the country over, and together we'll face the world. And many who feign employment from mercy mess employment, their ambition was this deployment from the minute they left the school. And they save and scrape and ponder, while the rest go out and squander, see the world and rove and wander, and they're happier as a rule. There's sober men aplenty, and drunkards barely 20. There are men of over 90 who have never yet kissed a girl. But give me a rambling rover, frae Orkney down to Dover, we will roam the country over, and together we'll face the world. If you're bent with arthritis, your bowels have got colitis, and also conjunctivitis, and you're thinking it's time you died. If you've been a man of action, as you're lying there in traction, you will gain some satisfaction, thinking, Jesus, at least I tried. There's sober men aplenty, and drunkards barely 20. There are men of over 90 who have never yet kissed a girl. But give me a rambling rover, frae Orkney down to Dover, we will roam the country over, and together we'll face the world. We'll roam the country over, and together we'll face the world.
Very nice as well. I like that.
Well, thank you. Apologies to anyone that was running a metronome alongside that. Good luck.
Well, no, it's fine. Now, look, I'm just going to jump straight into our next song, and we did this. We've done this a few times, and each time we do credit one of our wonderful members, David Woods, because he brought it to our attention through the Antipodean version of the song, which we have good cause to believe came around after the English version, and that version is called "Click Go the Shears." Am I right? No, I'm thinking of a different song, aren't I? Strike the Bell.
Yeah, that's Strike the Bell, Click the Shears. Yeah.
Yes, of course it is. Yeah, thank you. I was just testing to make sure Paul was actually listening. The words, arrangement, and music are actually attributed to Henry Clay Work, and were originally published in 1865. It's thought that the song predates that at least by 60 years, based on the fact that a sailor's journal was found that had a considerable chunk of the lyrics within it, and quite possibly for some considerable time before that. But anyway, it's number 53 in the folders if you'd like to sing along, if you have them in your folders, and if not, no worries, because look, we have the lyrics anyway, so
no excuse.
Grab a pedal and we'll be off. Aft on the quarter-deck, walking about, there is the second mate, so steady and so stout. He's thinking of his sweetheart and hoping she is well. He wished that old second mate would strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let us go below. Look out to windward, you can see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Forward on the forecastle head and keeping sharp lookout. There is Johnny waiting, ready for the shout. Lights burning bright, sir, and everything is well, but he's wishing that old second mate would strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let us go below. Look out to windward, you can see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Down on the main deck and working at the pumps, there is the larboard watch ready for their bumps. Over to windward they see a great swell, and he's wishing that old second mate would strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let's go below. Look out to windward, you see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Aft at the wheel, poor Anderson stands, grasping the spokes in his cold mittened hands, looking at the compass and the course is clear as hell, but he's wishing that old second mate would strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let us go below. Look out to windward, you can see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Aft on the quarterdeck, our gallant captain stands, looking to windward with the glasses in his hand. What he is thinking of we know very well. He's thinking more of shortening sail than strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let us go below. Look out to windward, you'll see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Strike the bell, second mate, let us go below. Look out to windward, you'll see it's gonna blow. Look at the glass, you can see that it has fell. We wish that you would hurry up and strike the bell. Strike the bell. And let's get rid of them lyrics. And I'll stop it. Hey.
I'm telling.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few comments.
Oh, go on. No, all right, you did. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to. 3 rounds of applause for you from Marion, 5 from Sarah, and 4 from Linda Boyce. Michelle Gallagher, on the other hand, says, love singing Rambling Rover.
Did she wait till I started singing that to tell you?
Yeah. Harry says, you Rambling Rover fool, which is cheeky of him.
Yeah.
A few rounds of applause from Sarah. Thank you very much. And Jonathan Brindle says, my favourite song that mentions colitis and conjunctivitis.
Yeah, I think at the top of my list, yeah.
Yeah, it's right up there, definitely.
Anyway, strike the bell. I did mean to say it's in the Roud Folk Index as 4190, and it's a pumping shanty. There's not many pumping shanties, but that's certainly one of them. And we do another one. Lever Johnny is another one. And it was popular on the Scandinavian and German ships particularly. And there's a book, I'm going to say just beyond reach. It's not. It's quite. If I had 6 foot arm, I could grab it off the shelf. But it's there. There is a book by Stan Hugel, funnily enough, that gives plenty more information about it. Anyway.
Good. I'm just going to remind everyone that scrolling across the bottom of the screen here are the details for our website and the page on which you would find the details to join us for the Zoom session, which we'll be going to at the end of this broadcast, roughly 8:30 p.m. We would really enjoy your company, so come along. Come one, come all. Everybody's welcome. We're going to have roughly half an hour of shanty chat and just check in with each other, see how we've been this last week.
Yeah,
it's based on a format that we've been doing called Cuppa and a Chat, which we've also enjoyed immensely. We tend to do roughly one a month, don't we, Stephen?
We do, yeah. And the next one is coming up actually fairly soon. I think next week, in fact, on Thursday, the 29th of April, between 2 and 4 p.m. You'd be very welcome to join us wherever you are in the world for that. It's free to attend. And it's just, as restrictions continue, although we're kind of moving slowly into post-pandemic, as restrictions continue, or people are understandably a little anxious about going out and about. If you'd like to just see a face because you haven't seen many people recently, then come and join us in our Cuppa and a Chat next Thursday, the 29th of April, between 2 and 4 p.m. And look, while we're talking about various events, we'd also like to mention a project that the organization that Paul and I run, the Voice Cloud, started in March and is about to continue with the first in a series of 12 over the next year, 1 a month, sessions that are free to attend as well. And the first one which is next next Wednesday. Wow.
Yeah.
Listen to Wildlife with Mike Chalice from the Suffolk Wildlife Trust. Mike is a professional sound recordist and has a keen interest in the sounds that bird makes, not just songbirds, but the sounds that birds make and wildlife generally makes, both in rural and urban areas. And he's going to be playing recordings and helping you to identify when you hear the frankly terrifying sound that a muntjac deer makes. Understand that it's just a muntjac, among other things. If you'd like to come along to that, just visit thevoicecloud.co.uk/connections and you can register there. Okay, and I think we're going to leave it at that because you came for shanties, and by gosh, you're going to get some shanties.
Yeah, although I'm really looking forward to that. I know a lot of people have connected with nature through this pandemic and really had the chance to explore perhaps their local countryside if they're nearby. And I'm really looking forward to what Chuck Malice has got to say about that. I hope he doesn't scare us with the old muntjac though, because I don't live out in the sticks anymore. And the mating call of the muntjac is much like the mating call of the drunkman in the pub.
Yeah, and anyway.
Anyway, we've been rather subdued, I think, so far, haven't we? We've kept it quite low key.
A regulated session so far.
Yeah. So tonight's I'm going to go with something a little bit heftier. Now, this is Old Billy Riley. It's one of my favourites and probably nobody else's, but I really enjoy this one. It's probably born of the Cotton Hoosiers. And the vessels on which it was sung were of the Black Wall frigate type, a three-masted ship built between the end of 1830 and the mid-1870s, according to altavista.org. So thank you to them. Now, Stan Hugel wrote in his Shanty Bible, they used jack screws to pack the cotton into the holds of vessels, to ram them up tight and so get more in the cargo hold. You'll hear lyrics on that, screw them up so cheerily. Black men were forming this labour force, and their chants turned into shanties when the sailors used them for their other jobs. Often the tune remained and the words were changed to suit Sailor John. And a large part of the crew of some vessels were formed of black men, and they took their chants to sea with them. And a hell of a lot of white man shanties had these origins, and that's fair to say. A.L. Lloyd had something else to say on it. And all I need to do is find out what it was he had to say on it. Now, this is round at index 4701. And as I said, A.L. Lloyd said it was a fierce song made to fit the rhythm of fast pulling and quick breathing. A droga was a ship in the West Indies sugar trade of 17th century Dutch origin. The sail would need to be light or the occasion desperate for men to haul at the halyards to the beat of such a fast song as Bill Riley. And it goes like this. It's in our repertoire, and I'd love to know that you're singing along with us. Old Billy Riley, Mr. Billy Riley, oh Billy Riley, oh Billy Riley, Mr. Billy Riley, oh Billy Riley, old Billy Riley was a dancing master. Oh Billy Riley, oh Billy Riley was a dancing master. Oh, Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, shipped aboard a droga. Oh, Billy Riley, shipped aboard a droga. Oh, Billy Riley, old Billy Riley, wed the skipper's daughter. Oh, Billy Riley, wed the skipper's daughter. Oh, Billy Riley, old Mrs. Riley, didn't like sailors. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Mrs. Riley, didn't like sailors. Oh, Billy Riley, old Mrs. Riley, had a lovely daughter. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Mrs. Riley, had a lovely daughter. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Missy Riley, pretty Missy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Missy Riley, pretty Missy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Missy Riley, screw her up so cheerily. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Missy Riley, screw her up so cheerily. Oh, Billy Riley, Mr. Billy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, Mr. Billy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Billy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Billy Riley. Oh, Billy Riley, oh, Billy Riley, oh, Billy Riley, oh. So as I said, a faster song made for faster, much faster operation and tasks to be carried out, packaging and stowage of the cargo into the hold, screw it up tight with the screw jacks in the cotton trade from the West Indies.
Oh, where's my
and
there it is.
Harold Minister has a curious question. Why is a muntjac called a muntjac? It's either a curious question or it's a joke. I'm not sure which yet.
Yeah, it like it's a what? I was more interested in what he called him, Harold Mincer.
Sorry, Harry.
But I didn't know if that was you were having a bit of a go at him.
No. Now, Marion Bouchard asked a rather impossible question: how many Billy Rileys are there in that song? Well, there's only one Billy Riley. We all know there's only one Billy Riley. There could never be another Billy Riley.
That sounds like that. That should be a football chant. There's only one Billy Riley. Okay, I'm going to do you a song now, and this came to our attention via Liam Clancy and Tommy Mackham's version. It's in the Roud Folk Index 124, which tells you it's very, very old or very early collection. And this is, I won't pop lyrics up because it's not actually in our repertoire. It's a very, very lusty and bawdy version, and I think I'm right in saying that there's a very distinctly different version for our American friends, and it's not this one. This is the English version. But anyway, let's give it a go. On Friday morning as we set sail, it was not far from the land. Oh, there I spied a fair pretty maid with a comb and a glass in her hand. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Then up spoke the guy of our gallant ship, and a well-speaking boy was he. I've a father and mother in Portsmouth town, and this night they weep for me. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Then up spoke a man of our gallant ship, and a well-speaking man was he. I married a wife in fair London town, and this night she widow will be. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the dock, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Then up spoke the captain of our gallant ship, and a valiant man was he. For want of a boat we shall be drowned, for she sunk to the bottom of the sea. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below, and the landlubbers lay below. And that's the Mermaid by by any number of people really, but the version we know best and love is Liam Clancy and Tommy Mackham.
Well, with a transatlantic differential, didn't put Michelle Gallagher off. She gave you 4 rounds of applause, and it didn't even put our friend Jonathan Brindle off. He said, love this song, and of course he would know probably the American version. I think their version sings Poor Sailors Are Skipping at the Top, don't they?
I don't know. I don't know, Paul.
No, we just don't know. But Jonathan also says, it's funny how many different verses there are for this song. I know that we have in Bones at least 25 verses we will work in and out. Fantastic. 25 verses. And you remember them all, no doubt. Jonathan also says that is correct. Like skipping at the top.
Yeah. Cool.
Now, Suday, wonderful Suday, says, I request that the Mermaid goes into our repertoire. Like it.
Well, Dagnabbit Sue, it may well do.
And Dave Vanderbroeker also confirms skipping at the top is right.
Good.
Well, I'm going to slow it back down again with a much more pensive number. This is a much more it's a sad song actually. It's called the Arbor Tragedy, and it really does is what it says on the tin. It's a song all about a tragic event that happened to a lifeboat crew in the small seaside Scottish town of Arbroath. We've spoken to you many times about the story, so rather than recount it again, I'll just sing it to you and hope that you sing along with us. Oh, listen while I tell you of the Arbor Tragedy, of how 6 gallant lifeboatmen were thrown into the sea on October 27 in the year of 53, and only one brave man was saved in that calamity. The night was dark and stormy, and the lifeboat standing by, when all at once a rocket jumped into the angry sky. The Robert Lindsay ventured out to see the reason why, but nothing could they find that night, no matter how they tried. 4 hours they searched that Tuesday morn until the break of day, but not a bit of wreckage could they find in Arbroath Bay. It's home and mugs of cocoa for us sailors while we may, or else we'll never see the shore, they heard the coxswain say. As they came back across the bar, it was an awful sight. The lifeboat overturned them in the sea as black as night. They couldn't reach the shore alive, though struggle as they might. And only Archie Smith was saved upon that dreadful night. 2 brothers sank beneath the waves, a father and a son. The bowman Thomas Adams went the way that they had gone. And when the boat was washed ashore beneath the morning sun, the coxswain David Bruce was lashed, the steering wheel upon. So let's remember all the men who go down to the sea, and all their wives and sweethearts dear, wherever they may be, and working men who give their lives in dire necessity, the fishermen who died that night in 1953. Arbor Tragedy.
Yeah, lovely. Fantastic song. Not particularly well known, we don't think, but it was written by Carl Dallas, or Fred Dallas, as he was known. Because why use his name, Carl? So I'm going to go straight into this next song for reasons that only Paul and I will know, and it goes like this. No lyrics to display on this, by the way, because it's not in our repertoire. Now, as I was a-walking up fair London street, I met a poor boy who'd no shoes for his feet. Beans I had money and plenty to spare. I popped in a fruit shop and I bought him a pear. Toodaloo, toodle-I, toodaloo, you ought to have seen him eat it. Now I once knew a man, he was tattered and torn. He was mowing the grass on a gentleman's lawn, when the door opened wide and a lady so fair said, "Come round the back, oh, it's much longer there." Toodaloo, toodle-I, toodaloo, you ought to have seen him run round. Now I once had a dream and to heaven did go. "Where did you come from?" they wanted to know. "I came from Black Shawl," old Peter did stare, said, "Come round the back, you're the bugger from there." Toodaloo, toodle-I, toodaloo, you ought to have seen me run round. Now I called on my sweetheart, her name was Miss Brown. She was having a bath and she would not come down. I said, "Slip on something, come down half a tick." She slipped on the soap and she did come down quick. Toodaloo, toodle-I, toodaloo, you ought to have seen her come down. Now a nasty black eye had my Uncle Jim. He said someone threw a tomato and threw it at him. "Tomatoes don't hurt," I said with a grin. "Oh yes they do when they come in a tin." Toodaloo, toodle-I, toodaloo, and a nasty black eye had he got. Now put 4 young ladies round 4 cups of tea. They'll talk of more scandal than ever you'll see. But put 4 young men round a barrel of beer. They'll talk of more work than they can do in a year. Toodle-I, toodle-I, toodaloo, I've proved it so I ought to know. And that's a lovely and charming song from a wonderful book that we have called The Fellowship of Song by Jeanette Dunn, printed in the 80s, but based on a collection of folk songs much older than that. And in particular, we love that. That's from the repertoire of Percy Ling, and although a lot of the songs that were actually pertains to popular singing traditions in East Suffolk. It mentioned Black Shawl in the song there lyrically, and it is noted there by Jeanette Dunn that probably Percy added the word Black Shawl just to localize it. It's a song called "Boy with No Shoes," and there is not much information out there about that. In fact, quite rarely we found just one recording on an archive. And to me, I think the kind of the striking thing was the similarity of the melody to I'm trying to remember
Still I Love
now.
Him.
Still I Love Him, also known as the Black Shawl, which was collected by Bob Roberts. And Bob Roberts and Percy Ling certainly had some kind of crossover, both in the styles that they sang, but also where they sang. Bob Roberts also sang at Black Shawl occasionally. Also the Eels for Inn in Leiston, both of them was sung there. They were both recorded at both those places by the BBC. And interestingly, and I think you could probably pick this up, but Jeanette Dunn talks about the tradition of music hall melodies and the style of music hall songs being very popular in Suffolk way beyond the time when the genre itself had kind of moved on, and the sentimentality of music hall songs finding their way into communal versions of existing traditional songs. And I think, and she does actually mention that this is one of them, this song, Boy With No Shoes, sounds like a musical song. Certainly lyrically, comes with the twist that gives it a humorous edge, and also some of the melody, I think, as well. So not at all a shanty, but certainly is a Suffolk-based song, and was sung by a Suffolk-based wonderful baritone singer, Percy Ling.
I would also say not just Still I Love Him, but also Here's to the Old Apple Tree. It's a mix of those two songs, in my opinion.
Yeah. Don't know why.
Yeah. No, it just is.
Anyway, let's.
Anyway, we're whipping through songs tonight. We'd normally be finished by now. I don't think we've got enough to talk about, so I'm just going to remind people that we are meeting on Zoom at the end of this session, roughly 8:30, for roughly half an hour of roughly shanty chat. Roughly we'll be there, and roughly you'll be there, I hope, as well. Anyway, I think I'm going to sing one last rousing shanty now. This time, I'd like it to be Spanish Ladies. Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. We'll be displaying the lyrics, so please do sing along. And it goes like this. Farewell and adieu to you, Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail for old England, but we hope in a short time to see you again. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashen to Scilly is 35 leagues. We hove our ship to with a wind from southwest, boys. We hove our ship to for to strike soundings clear. 'Twas 45 fathoms with a white sandy bottom, so we squared up our mainyard and up channel did make. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashen to Scilly is 35 leagues. The first land we sighted was called the Dodman, next Ramehead off Plymouth, then Portland and the White. We sailed by Beachy, by Fairlight and Dungeness, and then we bore up for the South Foreland Light. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. We'll rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashet to Scilly is 35 leagues. The signal was made for the Grand Fleet to anchor, and all in the Downs that night for to lie. Let go your shank painter, let go your cat stopper, haul up your crew garnets, let tacks and sheets fly. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. Rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashen to Scilly is 35 leagues. Let every man drink off his full bumper, and let every man drink off his full glass. We'll drink and be jolly and drown melancholy. Here's to the health of each true-hearted lass. We'll rant and we'll roar like true British sailors. Rant and we'll roar all on the salt sea until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashen to Scilly is 35 leagues.
Very nice, rousing version of that. Yeah, and I think it was of that song that it was said there is no sweeter song that gives instinct to the homing beacon of the heart. Maybe I paraphrased that slightly and didn't make it sound as sweet as it should. So I'm going to move on straight away to the revelation of our word of the day, word of the week, or "Hey, you heard it, boy," as Paul often says. And the word is
heard it, boy.
The word is ranter. Ranter. And I'm going to read to you what it actually is, courtesy of old Edward Moore. Ranter is a large jug to place beer into. And he also goes one further and say a smaller jug to place on the table is called a gotch. A gotch. And I think we know that because there was a song that Paul, some lyrics from a song that Paul and I were given to try and help identify the origins of. And yeah, and in that it had the word gotch, which an historian friend of ours helped us to identify. In fact, David Butcher helped us to identify as a jug. But in this case, ranter is a large jug. Gotch is a small one. Ranter is a
specifically for beer.
Exactly, yeah. So anyway,
I think we could all do with the ranter.
We could, yeah. I'm going to give you one last song. Before we go, we're going to mention our connections, which is next Wednesday. Listen to Wildlife with Mike Chalice, Wednesday, the 28th of April, 7:30 p.m. Free to come along. You just need Zoom but you do need to register a place. thevoicecloud.co.uk/connections. And you just send your details there. And I'm going to finish with a song by the late Peter Bellamy, and from his musical The Transports. And it's a capstan shanty called Roll Down. And we're going to say goodnight with this. Sweet ladies of Plymouth, we're saying goodbye. Roll down, but we'll rock you and roll you again by and by. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. Now the anchor's away and the sails are unfurled. Roll down. We're bound for to take her halfway around the world. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. In the wide Bay of Biscay, the seas will run high. Roll down. The poor sickly transports, they'll wish they could die. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. When the wild Bay of Biscay it do appear, roll down. The poor nervous transports, they'll tremble with fear. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. When the Cape of Good Hope it is rounded at last, roll down. The poor lonesome transports, they'll long for the past. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. When we arrive off Australia's strand, roll down. The poor weary transports, they'll long for the land. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. When we set sail for old England's shore, roll down. The poor stranded transports, will see them no more. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. We'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. Then sweet ladies of Plymouth will pay all your rent. Roll down and go roving no more till our money's spent. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down, and we'll roll down. Walk around me, brave boys, and roll down. So one wonderful song, and from a fantastic folk operetta, the Transports by Peter Bellamy, which is often resurrected, so much so that I don't think you can really call it resurrected. In fact, it's often staged, and the wonderful Matthew Crampton and his theatre company tour it regularly, and definitely worth checking out some other fantastic music in there. So a few more comments just before we go. Thank you for another wonderful evening, Michelle. Well, thank you, Michelle. You're very welcome. Jonathan Brindle, excellent job. Thank you, Jonathan. Carol Fisher, thank you. Tom McQuillan, many thanks, Stephen and Paul. Well, thank you, sir. Sarah Jordan, fabulous evening again. Thank you, guys. Top form tonight. Marion Bichette, thanks for the song and company, Paul and Stephen. Marion, thank you, because if you weren't with us, we'd just be doing nothing really. So it seems only fair to thank you. And I've lost the comments now. Let's find them. Jackie Draper, thanks guys, lovely evening. Linda boys, thank you for another lovely evening. Jonathan Brindle, goodness, apparently I am a ranter. Yeah, Marion Bouchard, hauling up my clue garnets there, saluting smiley. One day we're going to do a thing on what all those things are in Spanish, ladies. Your shank painter, your cat stopper, your clue garnets, and so on. But anyway, for now, I think it's time to say goodnight. We'll catch you next week. Head on over to Zoom. We'll see you there. Thank you very much.